I always appreciate that because, you know, we go through certain struggles in the day, certain stresses, and walking in, you know, your manhood or walking in fatherhood or whatever it may be. Just having that person to always just check up on you, make sure you're good mentally, spiritually. That's
so she became the one, and you
keep it around.
What's up, family? And welcome back to the Dr. G.O. White Show. Now listen, this is not your average podcast. Around here, we talk real talk. Talk about life, relationships, fatherhood, purpose, all the things that make us laugh, love, and sometimes even leave and lose our mind. Now today I got a young man with me, Mr. William Taggart. Now, full transparency, I've been knowing this man his entire life. Well-educated young brother, has a dual degree, mechanical engineering and physics, Clark Atlanta University, North Carolina A&T, member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, a scholar, an intellect, but I love him most because he's like a godson to me. So William, I want to welcome you to the Dr. G.O. White Show.
Thank you.
I'm laughing because you're a new husband.
That's
you
right.
just got married, when?
September 7th? Yeah.
September. Man, you better remember that anniversary. All right, here's lesson one. You better remember that doggone anniversary day.
That's right.
So you are a new husband.
That's right.
You are excited about it. And is this your college sweetheart?
Yes, you can say that.
No, I don't want to say it. You say it.
I'm playing.
How did you all meet?
So we met, so when I was in school at Clark, I was actually dating someone else at the time. But that situation was interesting, to say the least. So then when I left CAU, my junior year, went to North Carolina A&T.
And that was part of that dual program?
Dual degree program.
Okay, so you were enrolled at Clark Atlanta University in
physics.
That's
right.
And the dual program in North Carolina, mechanical engineering.
That's right. That's right. So leaving CAU, leaving Atlanta, leaving home. That was an experience. So then when I got to A&T, it's kind of ironic because my wife now is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Wow,
So she's about 30, 40 minutes from where I went to school. So she had, I didn't know at the time, but she had the North Carolina experience and I got the Atlanta experience. We kind of swapped. It's the craziest thing. But then me going there, just being kind of just by myself and being in an environment I'm not used to. Definitely was coming back to Atlanta a lot. And then that's when when we was in school, always saw Kayla, always admired how she carried herself, how her spirit was, how she just navigated being in school, and she was always caught my eye. But at that time, I was trying to do right. So I didn't approach her then, but then situations happened, and I definitely.
So when you were out of that relationship, you cleansed yourself.
Yeah, cleansed
myself.
All that.
And then you stepped to her.
Yeah, I stepped to her. This is very, how can I say, new century. I DM'd her. I asked her for a date.
Oh, you said through the DM?
Yeah, I hopped in the DM.
Okay. All right. So, and she was a student at CAU at the time?
Yeah, she's a year younger than me.
Okay.
A class younger than me.
All right.
So she was going to her senior year, I believe. Okay. So this was like the summer of 2019.
Okay. Right before the pandemic?
Yeah, right before the pandemic.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. So then you all, y'all started dating?
Yeah. So we were dating. So I came back for something, and we started dating. Went on a couple dates.
Okay.
Because in the summertime you're not in school. So yeah, summertime not in school on summer break. Took on a couple of dates, and our relationship actually jumped off rather quickly. And I would say about maybe a month from us dating, going on maybe 3-4 dates.
It got serious?
Yeah, it got serious. Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. So now you start dating and it gets serious. So
that's right.
At what point did you fall in love?
I would say I loved Kayla before I even asked her for a date. Just observing just how she was.
Hold on, you loved her. I said, when did you fall in? When you realized you were in love, you know?
I guess I can say when we handled a certain, it was like a conflict that happened. Just how she handled that conflict, that just drew me to her. Because I'm used to, as men, we handle conflict like how we typically handle conflict.
How we were raised.
How we were taught, how you were nurtured. And then just how she handled that, it made me like, okay, so you handle stuff totally different than I do. Like, why do you handle that? How can I even check myself? Because I'm a person that really evaluates myself routinely. So I try to be better than I have been in the past. I'm like, okay, I like the way that she handles conflict. I like the way that she handles these things. And then just knowing her family, I like how your family is oriented. I like how they show love to you and how they really like people who are in situations, they really put their arms around them and show love to them. So I really wanted that.
Now, and I'm going to get to understanding a little bit in terms of your upbringing and how that influenced you and what you learned about that family. I'm going to get there, but I want to just stay here for a second.
Okay.
So, and this is really important for young people. When did you first tell her, I love you, and how did she respond?
So the first time, it was after I asked her to be my girlfriend. And I said...
Wait, you went from be my girlfriend to I love you?
So yeah, I was like, hey, and I think I just did it out of like impulse. I was like, hey, I love you, and then she was like, oh, okay, and then she just hung up. And I was like, and I called her back, and I was like, you're not gonna say? She was like, well, we kind of just started dating, but I kind of jumped the gun because I just thought it was.
But you know what?
I thought it was just what was supposed to be.
But I will say this, and this is important too, is that, love does not always require a response.
That's right.
Because if that's how you feel, it's really independent of how she feels about you. So in that moment, that's how you felt.
In that moment, that's how I felt.
All right, and so later on, do you remember the first time she said, I love you?
I can't remember it because Kayla's a very expressive person when it comes to just her emotions in a sense. So I probably can't even remember. I just know every day she tells me that she loves me in some form or fashion by just saying bye or give me a kiss before I leave or just checking up on me and just saying, hey. So
how does that feel?
I always appreciate that because, we go through certain struggles in the day, certain stresses, and walking in, your manhood or walking in fatherhood or whatever it may be. Just having that person to always just check up on you, make sure you're good mentally, spiritually. That's
so she became the one, and you
she keep me grounded, yeah.
And ground. Now this is really important in terms of a relationship, especially for young people. Were you comfortable being vulnerable around her?
Oh, from day one, yeah, for sure.
Okay,
100%.
And how does that happen? How does she she support you in that? How does that work?
So I would say, trying to get through the journey of being in dual degree, it's an experience that requires a lot of tenacity. I think that's the best word to describe that. So her just saying that, hey, just give me that encouragement and just saying, hey, you're not gonna quit, you're not gonna give up. Like, this is what you always wanted to do. Like, just stay at it, it's gonna work out in the end. Just really giving me faith. I think that's the best word.
So she could see the stress?
She can see the stress, yeah. I would complain to her in different ways.
Okay.
And I'm tired of this.
Okay, so she wouldn't let you
Yeah,
quit.
she wouldn't let me quit.
And this has become the theme. I always, just focus on, when you find the right one, sometimes it's very unique because, when you come across that right woman, she gives you the type of support sometimes that you don't even realize that you need. And so it gets closer and closer. So when did you decide that you wanted to marry her?
I don't think it was a particular moment. It was just watching her over the years and how she's even helped me handle stress or just having more faith in just things or being more optimistic instead of pessimistic or just having a different outlook on things. I was like, I really need somebody like that in my corner for the future because there's gonna be times when, hey, I may not have the capacity to handle with something, but just having somebody who always sees the brighter things and just keep pushing forward and not to let stuff pull you back or put you down, to always look on the brighter side of things. I think that's really impactful.
So William, that's a great deal of wisdom that for your age that you bring, because I think one of the greatest challenges that a lot of young men and older ones have is to think that they must be hard and the strongest ones in the house at all the time. And what I understand is that, when a relationship is growing the way it is, there will be times that you're going to be weak. When you talk about those marital vows, and y'all have some beautiful marital vows, but there's some times that it is not meant for you to be the strongest one.
That's right.
And I think that's one of the struggles sometimes that men have, is that even with their own spouse, they don't want to allow themselves to be vulnerable. But I think she allows you to be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So let me ask you this. Who did you first tell that you think you want to marry her?
I think I first told my father, and he was like, you for real? Like, you really want to marry? I was like, yeah. Like, he was like, well, why? Why you want to do this? And I was just
Was he grilling you, or just really just kind of
just giving me just making sure that I was really ready for what I was saying, because when you say you want to marry a woman, you know, that's a really big commitment that you're putting out into the world. So just making sure that I was ready for it, and just from how I explained, he was like, man, you ready?
Okay. So now you crazy about your mama now.
Yeah.
You Mrs. Taggart, you crazy about your mom. How does she handle it when you said, Mama, I think this
she gave me a different perspective.
I'm sure she did.
A woman's point of view on marriage and what that means. And certain things you're gonna have to do or be that for your wife that, you know, that she experienced or stuff like that.
And what was some of the pieces of advice that she gave you?
She just told me to just be more, sometimes I think as men, we don't have patience. So she just said you had to be patient and not judge or have contempt, you know, for your significant other, because if you do, that can build resentment. On term of just me researching, like, what is contempt in marriage? What does that look like? So just me being more patient and being more understanding that of who she was and like what positives she can bring to my life instead of focus on, oh, well, she didn't do this or she don't have that. I think people focus on the 10% instead of looking at the 90%. Negativity, I feel like, just always speaks to my generation for some reason. I just think it does.
Now, again, your generation, because you know, there's a lot of young men that are afraid to get married. Yeah. They're afraid of that commitment. You probably have some of your boys in your circle that are. And why do you think that is? What is their fear?
I think the fear is that they pour into somebody and then that person is being conniving behind their back, or they're taking advantage of them in some way, or they won't accept the leadership of what it means to be in that role. I think a lot of us shy away from that because they don't want to mess it up.
Now, how old are you?
29.
29. Well, you just had a birthday.
I just had a birthday,
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Thursday.
So you're now, oh, that's right. You're my wife's same day. Yeah. So you're 29 years old and you got a lot of friends. So when you told your boys that you're about to get married, what was their response?
Based on where people are in their life, you're gonna get different responses.
I'm sure.
People who are married, they're gonna definitely congratulate you. People that are not, they may look at it as you giving up your freedom, autonomy, so forth, so on. So it's different responses.
Can you hear their fear?
Yeah, you can hear their fear. Yeah.
And what advice would you give young men who are thinking about doing that?
I would just say that I think as men, we always want somebody who can be that emotional backbone for us. Because as men, sometimes we suppress all that stuff. We don't talk about it. Like, even if you have an environment, which I do have with Alpha, where you can even talk to me, I think there's just certain things that you don't want to be judged for. And I think being in that environment with my wife, I can speak up, there's things that I've told her that I didn't feel judged for. She understood it. We were able to have a conversation, and she was able to help me look at things from a different perspective, instead of just me being by myself and me being the same William that's just is my way or the highway.
So one of the things I'm hearing from you, and as you talk about her, I'm getting the sense that how you all were raised and what you all saw growing up in your home kind of contributed to it. So, and I'm going to get back to, because I do want to know about when you asked her father. We're going to get to that.
Oh, yeah.
But let's just deal with this part here. So, so here we are. You're doing this journey. You're kind of doing this walk a little bit.
That's right.
You're getting your nerves together to move into this this relationship. And so when you had that conversation with her about getting married, and I just want to kind of jump on this, when you had that conversation with her about getting married and the vulnerability and everything, how did she receive it when you proposed to her?
You talking about on the specific day? Oh, she loved it. She was surprised. I mean, she I think I alluded to it in certain ways, like just sometimes how I do things, I'll pop it out there like, okay, so what if I just did this, or what if I did that? And just seeing how she responds, so it's like I prepped myself for it to some degree. So when she started crying. I mean, she was just excited, even like how I set it up and just trying to be as romantic as I could. Because I know these moments are like, concrete moments for you for the
their
rest
memories.
of your life.
You always remember them. So let's look at this. So tell me about how you were raised. Tell me what you saw in your house between your parents growing up, and what did you take from that? And I think even those in great homes, there's some things that we said, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take that piece, and I'm gonna leave that piece. I'm gonna tell me some of the pieces from your parents.
Okay, so my parents, they met at CAU. My dad was very involved at CAU. My mom, she wasn't so involved, so I picked up that kind of mindset from my mom. Very kind of to myself, in my own lane, doing stuff like that. So in my household, just having certain stressors, like my sister being sick, that was a very, that was a moment in my life where I had to face with the reality of death. So being very young in that environment and seeing that, I think that made me very internal with how I internalized things and how I thought about things, not always being the most expressive person.
Okay.
So going through that, I just really didn't understand, but now I can understand how that impact had a big impact on my parents' relationship sometimes.
It brought them closer?
I think sometimes it did, but I think sometimes just dealing with that reality for parents, I think that's the worst fear a parent can have if a child is going through something like that.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, you're vulnerable. So me seeing that, I didn't know how to really talk about it. So a lot of times I was just almost emotionless sometimes.
And so you brought some things from that marriage. So what did you from that did you bring into? Are you literally intentional about bringing into your marriage?
So one thing that my wife has stressed to me is, I know people say it's like, oh, you tone policing, oh, you saying it's your tone. And I think sometimes men were like, well, it's a fact. Why does it matter what I say? But honestly, even with men, when we come at somebody else a certain type of way, even we react to it. We just may not cry about it, but we react violently to it. So I feel like in that regard, I've started to even understand and talk to her. Like, I even talked to her like this morning, like over the years, her saying like, hey, maybe you should say it in this way, or I get your point, but if we just disagree, or if you have a certain opinion, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but we just have different ways we've grown up, we've internalized things. It may be something that you've gone through that just being more empathetic to people. I guess that's the best way I can start.
So now I want to switch over a little bit. So then you meet her family.
Oh, that's right.
All right, and you met her father. All right, so tell me about meeting her father, and then tell me about how did you go to him and ask him?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so, well, there's a lot of young people who don't realize that that's still a necessity. As a father of daughters, you didn't come to me, that marriage is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's disrespectful.
So tell me about meeting her father and her family and how they received you, and then tell me about when you asked him for a hand in marriage.
Okay, so when so me and her dad have always had a really good relationship.
Okay.
I think to some degree, like me and her dad are kind of similar, how we make jokes, like how we like do things. So I think that was even how we even got together. I think that kind of reminded her of a certain...
She probably saw some aspects of her dad in you. Okay, good.
Same
and you definitely saw some aspects of her in your mom.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, and I'm going to commend your mom and her dad, because typically that is what happens. Whether we like it or not, we tend to see those things. So you met him, you see the similarities?
Yeah, I was like, okay, so we kind of like how our nuances, how we do stuff. Like a lot of times I'll go over there, we watch sports, we just talk about things, stuff like that. So he's like, kind of like another perspective of fatherhood that for my dad, because my dad's a certain type of way, and how he is, it's two different spectrums. Just seeing that and taking bits and pieces positively from that, learning from things that he's told me and stuff like that. So we've always kicked it off. I did make one mistake, but we moved past it.
Okay. With him?
Yeah.
You come on now. Y'all married now, so go ahead.
So it was one situation where in undergrad, it was on my birthday, like 2-3 years ago, and I had got an edible from my friend.
Oh.
So I got an edible, and me and Kayla both partook in it.
Okay.
And so she had a certain reaction. I had a certain reaction. She had a panic attack. And it landed her in the hospital. So he found out about it, and he had some choice words for me.
How did you handle that?
He
was right.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad. If I did the same thing, I'd probably put my hands on somebody's son. I get it.
What'd you say?
I'd be putting my hands.
The roles were reversed. You'd be to put some.
Put
that was a hands-laying moment.
It was almost.
Okay.
Almost.
All right. So, but he got past that.
Yeah, cause
Okay, that's a beautiful thing. I think we honor this. What did you love about her father and her mom?
One thing I learned about them is just their how they are the really, I feel like, the nucleus to their family. Like a lot of times when there's a birthday, they have a very established a lot of good family traditions. And so me being from Chicago, that's something that I lost coming to Atlanta. So me now coming back into that, I think that's something that I pushed away. I'm like, oh, that's kind of unfamiliar. But me thinking about it, that's something I've always experienced. So now I yearn for that. I want to be around like your family. I want to do certain things like that. I like those family traditions that y'all have.
Okay.
So that's something that.
And now you're part of the family.
And I'm honored to have that experience.
It's a beautiful thing.
Her family.
How did you propose? I mean, how did you ask her father, and how did that go?
So we had a personal face-to-face talk, and I was just saying that, hey, I really love Kayla. I really want to.
Did he see it coming?
Yeah, he saw it coming.
I'm going to tell you that, as a father, watching this young man before you, he's stammering and all that. So go ahead, you told her you really love her, your daughter.
Like anytime I tell somebody like, why Kayla, it's really just her spirit. Her spirit is something that a lot of people who I've experienced do not have. So just her spirit and just how she cares about people.
And this is what you were telling her father? Okay.
Yeah, made him cry.
You made him cry?
I made him cry.
Oh, shit. Progress. All right. So, and then you asked.
Yeah, then I asked.
And what did he say?
He was like, you have my blessing. And
how did that feel?
I was good. I was like, okay, well, I need to get on it now.
Now, what about her mom? How did that go?
So her mom was kind of the same thing, talk to her in person, just say, hey, just kind of really the same, just paint a picture like, hey, I really want to take this journey with Kayla. I really want to be there for her. I really want to be her husband. I really want to be the future of our kids. I want to establish that.
Okay. Now, did she have any siblings?
Yeah, she has an older sister.
Okay. Did you talk to her?
I think I did. I think I asked her sister, like, if I did it, how I should do it.
Okay, well, that's what a big sister did.
Yeah, I think that's what
she become the architect.
Exactly.
She helped with the plan, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So y'all get married. It was an absolute beautiful wedding. What I remember certainly at your wedding and you talk, what happens and when we start thinking about the future, right? So, everyone's going to have that point in life. At some point, you all down the road are going to start a family in this kind of world. And you get your mind ready for it? You prepare for something like that?
Yeah, so this is kind of a weird thing. Kayla can even attest to it, my wife. With dogs and like kids, it's just I've always gravitated, like they've always gravitated towards me. I don't know if it's just like I'm just a calm person or just that's just. So I've always wanted to be a father. I always wanted to be like how my dad poured into me, whether right or wrong. I always wanted to do that for my kids and put them in an even better place than I am, because I feel like that's my duty to do something like that.
Right. Because you followed. Your dad went to CAU. Your parents went to CAU. You went to. Your dad pledged Alpha.
I pledged Alpha.
Did you consider any other one?
No. Never.
Good answer.
Nah.
Good answer.
Never.
Good answer.
But even if I did, you already know how that goes. So.
So I think it's a beautiful thing, and so you all get to the point where you get married. So what type of advice now, as you look? So you all been married now 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
In 2 months. So now your friends and everyone's kind of looking and they're observing. Are you giving hope to some of them?
Yeah, I think sometimes with just how stuff is, I just think sometimes people have to kind of get out of their own way sometimes. I think by you being stuck in your ideology, I don't think you allow for the room for for allow your person to kind of mold you in a certain way that is beneficial for you. I think sometimes as men, and because most of my friends are men, I think sometimes we just too stuck and like always thinking it has to be black and white.
Now,
Swear that way.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. It might be a little difficult, challenging to ask, but I definitely want to kind of hear from you on this. And I know that those who are going to listen to this will probably want to challenge it, but it's your voice. Okay. So I want to hear your voice. Do you think having your father and your wife having her father in your life, you think that made a difference, and you think it grounded you? That's one. Do you know the significance of having a father in your life? That's one. And the number two, can you see a difference in some of your friends who didn't have the benefit of having a father? So let's look at that first one. The power of your father being in your life and her father being in her life, and how it helped shape you.
Okay, so what I've started to even getting closer to scripture, to me, with my perspective, I feel like the men is the yang or the yin, and vice versa. I think everything that I can provide or represent, or even my nuances, I think Kayla balances that. So with a child, they're able to see a balancing act. It's not one top heavy or the other. Now that is dependent upon if you have, even in your household, you have a good father and mother and father role model. But I feel like in most cases, I think it gives you a balance on, you get a different perspective. Hey, I'm going through this. Let me talk to my mom about this. I'm going through this. Let me talk to my dad. And you're able to get
that benefit of those. And a lot of times it's different perspectives.
It is.
Both perspectives that you need. So Kayla got that too, right?
Yes, she got it.
And so you all kind of see that. Now, is there a difference? Do you see a difference sometime in some of your friends who did not have the benefit of having a father? Do you see a difference in how they see marriage and relationships and just how they move?
Yeah, I think sometimes people who didn't see that, they may go and they may learn what that's supposed to be by watching and observing other relationships, maybe on social media, or maybe you may look up to somebody who's maybe a mentor to you, and then you may think, hey, in this environment, that's what I perceive was a good marriage or good relationship, and they didn't do whatever. So if they couldn't do it, how can I do that? And I think you have to understand that people are human. You have to humanize people. Just because somebody is in a marriage, it doesn't make them perfect. It doesn't make them better than you or all these other things. And you establish your marriage. You establish that. So don't put your faith in other people. Put your faith in your marriage. I feel like that's the best thing that I've learned just from being around my whole life, being around married couples like yourself, like my wife's family, my family, just being around that. Marriage is totally different.
So would you say it's a norm? Relationship is a norm, and that's important because a lot of young men will talk about how they moved in relationships or decisions, even some of those relationships that crashed and burned. You know, one of the things they immediately talk about is the absence of a father. You know, having some men say, well, I've never seen a man apologize. I've never seen a man take ownership. I've never seen a man say to the wife, I love you, or seeing affection. And a lot of times those are, I think, some big pieces that we definitely need to see. So my last question for you, 5 years from now, looking back, what will the Mr. and Mrs. Taggart 5 years from now, what will they be sharing?
5 years from now, we'll be married for 5 years, since my first 5-year anniversary. We definitely are dedicated to building a family, getting a house, getting more financially stable. Definitely going to progress in our careers, but also to travel more, to get more experiences, just increase our blessing that we have together.
I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's what you're doing. I think lessons that a lot of young people at 29, 28, 27 need to understand. But you know what? I do want to double back. I got additional question here. A lot of times young men get married, but they still want to live the life the way they did before they got married.
That's
you know, your boys say, let's road trip without even thinking you go on road trip, or you go out, you party, and before you got married, you get somewhere and just spend the night. And you have this. How did you make that transition, one, and what advice do you give to young men who are thinking about getting married? Do you tell them, y'all get that out your system? You know, how did you do it, and what advice do you give?
I think for any person, I think temptation is real, but you can put yourself in an environment where it will tempt you even more than usual. So, for instance, if I go out with my LBs and go out to
Line
the club,
brothers, okay.
My line brothers, go out to the club, or if I go to this event, I know the environment that's gonna be there. And not saying that I'm going to fold to the environment or succumb to the environment, but you can definitely put yourself, you know kind of what's gonna happen in a certain environment. So you gotta be strategic to say that if I put myself in this environment, what could I can be put in a compromising situation. And so sometimes your homeboy is gonna peer pressure you, like, oh, you letting your woman control you. Know, it's not even that. It's just the respect I have for my relationship.
And I think ultimately you train them too. I think ultimately, and this is a big lesson I give you, that people respect your relationship as much as you respect it. And they watch. You know, they monitor it and watch it. And I think that becomes one of the most important things that we have to do. One of the criticisms that, you know, in the early years when we got married is that I'd be out and call my wife, you know, hey, and then, you know, the early joke was, man, she got you in check. And you know, and then, you know, I found myself initially defending myself. But then, in the word to wise I give you, and then I had someone who had been married who told me, and this changed everything. They said, when you go out, you leave your house unprotected. You out having a ball, your wife, and then ultimately your children are in that home unprotected. And so you call home to check because now your wife is protecting that house. And so I think it becomes a valuable piece of lesson that when you're out doing and having a good time, and that wife is home, and in the future y'all become parents, and you're out, and the same in reverse. You know, the checking in is going to always be important because the home is always unprotected. And even when she goes out and you are home, the house is still unprotected.
Yeah, it feels kind of weird.
Yeah, the house is protected when you're both there. And so when a piece is missing. So William, I want to thank you. I want to celebrate you as, you know, being a husband and taking this and being a model for your friends. Giving them the hope that I think that a lot of young people need. And I'm going to tell you, giving older people the hope and understanding that that the journey and the decision-making process can be a healthy one with wise counsel.
That's right.
I celebrate you for paying attention and watching those relationships around you. And I celebrate you for being intentional about taking the best of what these families and relationships around you had to offer. But I celebrate you most for you two creating your own tradition, your own values, and your own beliefs. So I just want to give a few toasts here for your birthday. That's one click.
That's right.
And for your marriage.
That's right. That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See, that's a young person. Take the whole thing to the head out. That's